Queues now, queuing now. One of the things I hear all the time, oh, the Spanish don't know how to queue. No, actually, we don't know how to queue. It's a fact, okay? Because we don't have the queuing system. In Spain, you stop standing in a line when you're about 5. When you grow up, you drink beer and you don't stand in lines, okay? You don't queue. We have a very different system in Spain, which I'm sure that anybody that's spent any amount of time in Spain will have come across the fact that you're in, anywhere, you're in it can be the cash machine or a fishmonger's or the post office. And what will happen is somebody will come in and say something to you in Spanish, which is ¿Quién es el último? ¿Quién es el último is what they say. Now, ¿Quién es el último means who is the last? Because in Spain, you do not queue, you do not stand in a line. What you do is you go in a room, doesn't matter how many people are in there, you say ¿Quién es el último? Who is the last? And then somebody will put their hand up and you know you are after them. You can forget everybody else in the room. You only have to worry about that person. What you do need to remember though, of course, when the next person comes in, so imagine you go in, you say, ¿Quién es el último? Lady in the red dress puts her hand up and says, yo, I am. You know you're after the lady in the red dress. When the next person comes through the door in 5 minutes, they are going to say, ¿Quién es el último? And you don't point at the lady in the red dress, do you? You say, yo, because I am now the last in the queue. And this is something where people have found when they've gone into the bank and they've wanted to use the cash machine in the bank and there's a queue of 3 people in there, not standing in a line, okay, not standing in a line, we're just standing around. And a Spaniard will come in and say, ¿Quién es el último? And you think, what's that all about? And then all of a sudden everybody starts pointing at you. That's because they've asked who is the last. And obviously if it's you, they're going to be pointing at you because that's how it works, okay? I'm not saying there are not people that push in Spain. There are people that push in all over the world. I'm just saying the standing in line and memorizing the faces, as you know, does not work because at the post office, for example, somebody might go outside to have a smoke, but they've still kept their place in the ¿Quién es el último? Because they know who's in front of them and they know who's behind them. If you come in and count the heads the way the British people do it, you're going to think in 10 minutes when that person comes back from his smoke that he's pushing in when he is not, okay? So remember, ¿Quién es el último? Put your hand up and say yo.